Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Console Space Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Colangelo, and, I guess I should say this is the podcast where we get together and talk about what's going on in the console space. And on that note, to my left is co-host and co-producer, the one and only Slickwick Jonathan Porter. How's it going, JP?
It's going great, Sean.
To my right, also co-host and co-producer, the raddest dad you wish you had, Robbie Kettlewell. How's it going, Rob?
It's going great, Sean.
Let's switch back to JP. What you playing, man?
I've been playing. I lied on the last podcast. I did not start playing Front Mission. I started playing Just Cause 3 for PS4.
That was free a few months ago.
Yep.
Right, okay.
Got it free of charge. And it's been really fun. It's big open world game where you can zip around on a grappling hook and blow things up. And that's pretty much it. It's super fun. You can zip line the ground and open your parachute, and for some reason that flings you up in the air, and you can zip around and not touch the ground and just blow things up. Yeah, it's basically I would describe it as like GTA meets Far Cry personally. That kind of deal.
Yeah, because there's like a wingsuit too, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's a wingsuit. There's a parachute, grappling hook, and you steal cars, shoot things, blow things up, and you are liberating like an island.
It's a just cause.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you liberate each settlement by like blowing things up. There's like a list that shows up of what you need to blow up, and you blow those things up and you win. And so it's just fun.
Fun fact about Just Cause, or at least fun fact in the sense of like my perception of Just Cause. Within the name itself, I always kind of wondered what the name meant. Whether it was like a just cause, or you can run around the map, do whatever you want, kill people, or like just cause.
Just because, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably they probably did it on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, they did that on purpose.
I like
Yeah.
it.
It's a very cheeky game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's very self-aware.
Right.
Yeah.
That's clever. It's clever. I have that as well. I obtained that for free a few months ago on PS Plus. But much like a lot of the free games I obtain, I have yet to play it.
Yeah.
But at some point, I definitely will at least try it out.
After playing Final Fantasy for so long, because I've talked about that on like the first
Yeah.
several episodes, I was like, I just want to play something where you can just do whatever.
Yeah. For sure.
Story's about on par with Final Fantasy.
So you're like, doesn't
not
really
really.
matter. No, just,
Not really, but it's the story's just there to have a reason to go to different places to blow things up. But,
yeah.
I took the time and I platinumed Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, God. How long did it take to get up your fishing and cooking?
The
Right?
the cooking wasn't that bad, and the fishing was a little bit annoying because you had to fish, but I just went to a place where they kept spawning and sat there for a little bit, and it wasn't that bad. The worst thing to do in the game was for me was the survival skill.
That's right.
The survival
Yeah.
skill levels by how much you walk in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I had to look it up. I thought it was just like fighting.
Well, walking and running?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's just distance. That's all it is. And so to get that skill up, once you get to level 8, it's like from 8 to 10, it's like you can go all over the map, and it's like barely progresses at all. So you rubber band the controller and like let it play while you're not there, and then come back to it a couple hours later. And
Nice.
I should say several hours later, and that's how you level it up.
Where were you running though? Or
Anywhere, just in a circle, because you rubber band it together, and he just runs around in a circle.
Oh,
That reminds me of. Did you ever hear that Penn and Teller game where you just drive the bus? Yeah. They like built it into this game. Like if you've never heard of this game,
It's like the worst game ever.
It was a Penn and Teller game where you drive from LA to Vegas?
Yeah.
Something like that. Isn't it called like Desert Bus? Or
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
Desert
that?
Bus.
Yeah. So like it's in real time that you drive this bus to Las Vegas. Like it takes a few hours and like nothing really happens. So like but the way they made the difficulty where you actually had to play this game is that like the steering wheel would like list to the left.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you just rubber banded the controller to, like, push on the gas pedal, you would, like, run off the road and have to... they would literally tow you back in real time to the first city, and you'd have to start all the way over.
It's, like, the worst game ever made. Well...
So, luckily, they didn't do that in Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah. Because they could have.
They could have. So, did you catch the big fish, then? Or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. That's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The worst part for me, honestly, was finding the fish. I sat there and cast
Yeah.
for like, I don't even know how long. And then,
Ugh.
so yeah, that was annoying. You're going to get the Final Fantasy fishing spinoff, right?
You know, I seriously will if I have a VR by that point. Speaking of the VR, there will be some pretty good deals on Black Friday where you can get the VR for like $200.
That sounds interesting.
I mean, I don't think it includes the camera or the wands.
remotes.
Controllers.
Yeah, I forget what they're called now.
These things.
The
Maracas.
What if a man comes at you with two dildos?
Oh, my...
But I don't know. It's like, I want the VR, but I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for the games. It's just more, it's just more money, and I'm like, eh. But
what worries me is I wonder how, like, I don't have the PS4 Pro. I just have the regular one, so I don't know if it's gonna bog it down.
It will definitely bog it down, but but it works.
Yeah,
But speaking of the Pro and the VR, we will get to that a little bit later.
that's true.
Actually, Rob, what are you playing?
Oh, it's my turn. Okay.
It's your turn.
I completely forgot we were, like, talking about what we were playing.
Please don't talk about Final Fantasy.
No problem. I've been playing MLB The Show, last year's edition. My character, I've been playing Road to the Show, which is like...
The future's now, old man.
The future is now.
Sorry.
Hey, man, I just got a PS3.
I know. It's okay.
So I've been playing Road to the Show, which is like you create a character and you have to like get drafted and like make your way to the big leagues or whatever. I made it to the big leagues in one season. Robbie Kettlewell, number 66 for the Cincinnati Reds.
Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
Swiss on Swiss.
I'm batting like 325 right now with like 2 home runs. Shortstop. Not starting shortstop yet, off the bench. But I'll be starting shortstop shortly. Be a good time.
Okay.
The show is kind of an undermined exclusive on the part of Sony because there aren't many exclusive sports franchises out there. So it is cool for PlayStation that they do have that particular franchise. It's just not quite as popular as like something like Madden, but
yeah.
What?
Well, it's like if you want to play a baseball game, you have to have like a PlayStation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. It's very true.
I think there's another one like RBI baseball or something that sucks.
Yeah.
Or Super Mega Baseball,
Dude.
which is a great game.
Super Mega Baseball. Shout out to, what is it, like Metalhead Studios, I think?
Yeah.
What a game.
It's a
Good
really good
game.
We didn't play that one. We need to do that.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's free right now on PS4.
Really?
We should install it and play it after this episode.
It's so good. Go play it. Even if you don't like baseball, you don't have to like baseball to play it.
It's true. We'll show you.
Okay.
Jables.
Okay.
We'll show you the way. Anything else playing, bruh?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Well, as from I currently am playing the add-on content for Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wilds, which is awesome. It's pretty expansive. It's about like 15 to 20 hours of content.
Pretty expansive expansion.
You could say It's a very expansive expansion
Okay.
of expanding things and making them more expansive.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I've done a good bit of the content so far. I'm not quite finished with it yet, but I've gotten most of the trophies you can get from it, so I don't think I'm too far from the end of it. It's been pretty good, and you know, that's probably my game of the year. I mean, in fairness, there are things I haven't completely played through, like, you know, like the new Zelda and so on and so forth. But because of my love for new IP, I think I would go with Horizon. That was such a good game. But that's pretty much it. Kind of just waiting on some things to get cheaper. Like I really want to play the new Assassin's Creed. And actually on Black Friday, I think you'll be able to get it at Walmart for like $30. Yeah. Like, so I mean, that's going to be like, so you know, it's going to be half the price only 1 month after launch. So you can't really beat that. So, you know, probably we'll snag that soon here.
I haven't played an Assassin's Creed for a long time, but I think the new one looks cool.
It looks really cool. From what I have read from people, there seems to be kind of two sides of the like Assassin's Creed fence. So, okay, I'm not really a big fan of the franchise, right? But I loved 4.
Okay.
It was so
Black
good.
Flag.
Yes, it was excellent.
Oh, that was the pirate one.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
A lot of people who were like hardcore fans of the series, though, didn't like 4 for whatever reason. And from what I've been reading about the new one, it's kind of the same. Like longtime fans are like not really with it, and people who like usually aren't crazy about them really, really like it. I don't know why that is, but I mean, like I said, I'm not really a fan at all. But I mean, Assassin's Creed 4 is, well, like one of the best games I've ever played.
Really?
I mean, it was an excellent video game. So I don't know why that is, but it seems to be like people are very split, you know, when it comes to that franchise. But I don't know. At any rate, guess we'll go ahead and shift to our main topic, which is the Xbox One X, which has been out for a couple of weeks now. This is the part of the show where everybody thinks someone's going to shit on Microsoft. You're not entirely wrong. However, I have tried to look at this as fairly as possible, and I have a lot of like good and bad things to say about it.
Okay.
So if you guys don't mind, I will go first.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
It's like, whatever, dude. Idiot. No. Okay. So I guess my main question and main point of this podcast is like, do you guys think the Xbox One is necessary? Like, did Microsoft need to do it? And personally,
Xbox One S.
X.
X. Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry.
X.
Yeah, Xbox One. If you were to pronounce it like phonetically, if you were to pronounce it like instead of saying the letter X, like the way it sound, what no would you say? Would it be like a sound?
Or we
Sorry.
call it Xbox Wonks.
Xbox wonks. I'm just trying to think. There needs to be a better way to Xbox One S, Xbox One X. Like, there's too close.
Do you think they did that on purpose? So, like, oh, we have the brand new Xbox One X. And people are like, did they say S? I don't know.
Wouldn't that be counter, like, productive, though?
It is Microsoft.
Do you know? Go ahead.
Xbox.
You know what like, realistically, this is the best thing you could do, in my opinion, all right?
Maybe they just wanted this conversation to get started.
Yeah, probably. If it were me, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
I would buy 2 Xbox One S's, okay? And then I would buy 1 Xbox One X, okay?
And then you'd play SSX
Yes.
on it.
I would hook them all up and simultaneously play SSX
Would you
on...
Would you play the most recent SSX, or would you hire a team to port SSX Tricky to it.
I would hire a team to build the new SSX.
Well, now Microsoft does boast a lot about their backwards compatibility, and so if they are worth a damn at all, the old SSX games should already be on there.
Do you really need that powerful of a console to run SSX?
No, but you don't need one to run all the indie games they're boasting on it either, which we'll get to. So
the SSX machine.
the SSX Xbox Wonks Tricky.
I would drop $500 for a new SSX.
I mean, me too.
If it was like exclusive to the Xbox One X.
But it would have to be like a successor to like SSX Tricky.
Right.
Not like the last XSX. 'Cause
Exactly.
That wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So we call it
SSX Tricks with like an X.
Yeah.
SSX.
Yeah.
SSX Box Wonks Tricky.
Tricky-er.
See, they should do... Okay.
Or the Tricky X.
Trickies. Just put an S on it. But like...
My God, we are destroying this podcast. But it's okay.
No one's listening.
No one's listening. It doesn't matter.
got derailed, but...
That's okay.
They should... One last thing, they should do the naming convention where they...
Suck.
Where they add...
We're going to get a cease and desist now.
This isn't going to be suitable for YouTube. Like N64, Mario 64, Gex 64, all the
Gex?
64s.
SSX 64.
What?
SSX 64. There'd
For
be
sure.
SSX 69.
Holy
But-
shit.
I'm just saying, for the Xbox One X, it should be Halo X, Forza X. They should put X's after everything.
Ooh, X's are cool.
They
This
should
is-
put... And
That's why they named the X Games the X Games, because it was cool
Exactly.
20 years ago.
This is where we're going to end this.
Okay,
right?
go ahead.
We're going to end this blabbering
Are you
right
ready?
now.
Yeah.
Crossover between SSX and Gex. Gex SX.
Oh, I thought you were going to stop the conversation. Gex SX.
Or SX Gex. And you play as Gex and you snowboard. You're welcome.
I'm down. I'd be down with that.
I'd play it.
Sign him to a contract.
SS is it SS Gex?
Or GexX
Gex X
S.
trip. Gex
Gex
triple
S.
X.
I don't know. Whatever.
GexX Sticky, because you know they have the sticky hands.
Ooh. It's sticky. It's sticky.
There's a game, I think it was PS1 called BMX XX.
Okay.
I remember that. It was the competitor to, was it Matt Hoffman's BMX or something?
I don't know if they intended it to be a direct competitor. It was like really like naked women on bikes and stupid stuff like that.
It was what American Wasteland always wanted to be.
Yeah. But yeah, the XXX was pornographic in nature, is what I'm saying.
It was an adult
It was-
video game.
Like,
I mean, as far as
Leisure
you
Suit
get in the 90s, yeah. But yeah, sequel to that, starring Gex, but it's on snowboards. Gex XX.
I'd watch it.
Xbox One X.
it's been settled.
2018.
2018. It's coming out. Anyway, do you think the Xbox One X is necessary? And we'll just kind of converse from there. Personally, it's like I get it, and then I don't. In some ways, like so when this all first happened, and they were like saying that, hey, we're releasing a console that's 4.5 times stronger than our current one. That's a big. That's a big power gap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like huge. But then they were like, we're not considering it a next gen console, and I'm like, but it's 4.5. I mean, that's like a gigantic leap.
Yeah.
And it was on top of the fact that they already released the Xbox One S, which can do 4K and is a little stronger than the one and blah blah blah. And then I was thinking, okay, so by the time this thing comes out, it's going to be 4 years since the launch of the Xbox One. And I'm thinking, damn, like that is not very long for a console cycle. But then on the other hand, I was thinking, I mean, when you go back to like a lot of the older consoles, they're most of the time on average, there was only about 5 years between consoles. I mean, there was only 5 years between the PS1 and PS2. I'm pretty sure there was only 5 years between the 64 and GameCube as well. You know, so I mean, I mean that was about the average.
Yeah. Which is crazy to think about. It felt like a lot longer.
Oh
but...
yeah, way longer. Where did you say something? Sorry.
No.
Oh, sorry.
I'm good.
You know, I think we have a bit of a skewed view in the sense that last generation was so long. You know, I mean, it was like 7+ years long, which that's a long time for a.
I think between the 2 and the 3 was 7 years too, wasn't it?
I think PS2 came out in 2000 and PS3 came out in 2006. So about 6 years, you know, a little bit longer than previously. But I mean, on average, up to this point, aside from last gen, it was about every 5 years. So like when you look at it like that and how fast now that things will like improve in terms of technology, 4 years isn't that bad, you know, because again, you know, like, I mean, it's just insane how fast things like evolve now in the tech world. Yeah. So
I think the Wii U was out for about 45 seconds. And then the Switch
you know, the Wii U was a very misunderstood console, which we'll make that its own topic someday. But so I don't know. It's like I get why Microsoft did it. Yeah. I mean, their backs really, you know, really were against the wall. I mean, you know, the Xbox One was never going to catch the PS4. It's not happening. That's not to say that it's sold badly, because you know, like it's actually sold very, very well. It just looks worse compared to the other. Yeah. So,
and eventually the Switch.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right? So, I mean, I get why they did it, but it just seems like a conflicting. It's just like I don't really understand what they're going for. I mean, particularly because like last E3 they came out and they were like, world's most powerful console, and this thing is like so it's crazy, and then they literally basically just showed indie games for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's it's weird. I feel like in order to have something on the other systems, they're like, okay, now we got better graphics than anyone. But it's almost like that's not what people were worried about. So like, I don't know if it was like, well, it's not like we can just come up with another game studio to make another awesome game, so let's do this instead. Or like, because really like, I think that the main thing lacking from the Xbox One is just, the exclusives and the games. But so it's like, yeah, they came out with the Xbox One X. Now it's supposed to be the most powerful console anyone's ever released, but one of the coolest things they had to show off for it was Minecraft, and it's like, well,
you can run Minecraft 4.5 times better than you could on regular Xbox.
Yeah.
Great. It's like, yeah.
And I know they had plenty of other things to show on it, and I know a lot of people hate on that because they showed off Minecraft at I think E3, but but the games that do benefit even more from it and look super nice on it are still Forza. There was a couple games. There was like a platformer that came out. I think it was like an indie game. It's supposed to be 60 frames per second and all that stuff. But it's like, I don't know. That's not going to sell the Xbox One X.
Yeah, dude. Last E3, I mean, so Sony are usually the ones that will get a lot of hate for showing off like way too many indie games. If you would have told me Sony would not show one single indie game and Microsoft would reveal their new strong console and then basically just show indie games, I never would have believed you. I never would have believed ever. Now, speaking of lacking in games, I mean, Microsoft has good franchises, Halo, Gears, Forza. The problem is they just repeat those over and over again. And when Phil Spencer took over back in like 2013, he was saying, we're going to open new studios, we're going to create new IP. Didn't happen. And now, with the launch of the Xbox One S, he's saying, Xbox One X, see? It's like, I don't know. He's saying the same shit. We're going to invest in first-party studios and new IP, and I'm like, bro, you said this 4 years ago. And
would have been a good idea to do that before you released the new console.
Well, yeah, it's like, you said this 4 years ago, and if you had actually done that, you probably wouldn't have to be releasing this new console already. I mean, Now, what I will give them credit for is the sense that they are keeping this all within the same ecosystem. They're not gonna they're not gonna leave everybody else with the old stuff behind, which is good. But at the same time, can you really use the full potential of your world's strongest console or whatever if you're gonna still put the games on? You know what I mean?
I think that's why they were pushing the indie games, is because there can be indie games that are exclusive to Xbox One X, that the requirements are that you need an X to play it, that they can't do with their regular titles, because they'll alienate the rest of the people that have an Xbox One or Xbox One S.
Yeah.
So that is their only way to maximize the computing power of the Xbox One X, is to be hey, play these indie games.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. But as far as I know, even when they make the next big Halo game, that's going to be on the Xbox One, along with the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. At least that's what they're implying. In which instance, though, can you really use the full potential of that strong console?
I could see it maybe being, how they release sports games, but they when a new system drops, they release the sports game for the PS4, but they also release that year's version for PS3, and it's kind of watered down.
Sure.
I could see them maybe doing something like that with a digital download or something.
Yeah, but again, I'm not a game dev. I don't know. But to me, it seems like if you do that, you would not be able to use the full potential of your best, your best hardware.
Because most of the watering down is just graphically. It's not the actual gameplay.
Right.
I'm sure that's what it would be with the X. It would be mostly just graphically instead of, but with the exception of certain things running at different frame rates. But that could affect the gameplay. But I don't know. I think I'm interested to see how they handle that with new games that come out, because releasing something that will look great on both systems is it's either gonna limit the experience on the X and make it not as worth it, or it's gonna make you wish you had an X when you have a regular Xbox, and it's these games don't look as good, or they don't run as well, or they don't play on it at all.
What I wonder if, I don't think they can afford to do this, because they've implied that they're not going to do this, but we know what happens most of the time. There's a new gen, even though they're not saying this is a new gen. Don't assume the gen.
Right.
Because I don't know what gen it is anymore. I don't know. No idea. It's what happens most of the time is they say, hey, we're going to... dude, I remember at the beginning of, when it was the Xbox One and the PS4 with Assassin's Creed. I think they did that, where they released them on both, and then a year later they're like, no, we're only making it for the newest hardware.
Yeah.
And that happens every single time.
Oh, that's what happens with like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
They release it at like the very end of the console cycle, then they like re-released it, and it looks way better and plays way better on the PS4.
Right.
So it's like a matter of like, is that what Microsoft is going to do? Like, at first, are they going to be like, yeah, hey, you know, we're releasing the new Halo on all 3 systems. But then the next one, they're like, we're only making it for Xbox One X.
Right. Even the new 3DS, they were like, don't worry, everything's gonna play on everything. It's just like an upgrade to like the 3D, or like the 3D camera, and has the little extra joystick thing. But then they released, we're just porting Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's only compatible with the new 3DS. And then there's just a couple games here and there. We're like, well, these ones are exclusive to it.
Yeah, it happens every time. Yeah, so it's like, but I just don't feel like they can afford to do that because they've so strongly emphasized like this is all one ecosystem, like Xbox One, Xbox One S, Xbox One X, now even PC. You know, they're and again. I mean, you know.
Maybe that's why they made the name so similar, because they want you to believe it's all one thing.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's all one. Xbox One.
Oh my god. They planned it from the start.
Oh my god, it's genius. But no, again, I give them a lot of credit for that because it is cool to you know, make that ecosystem. But it's just
I feel like the main driver for moving new consoles is the exclusivity of the new games.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason people bought a PS4 wasn't because like the power upgrade and all that stuff, the graphical upgrade. It was because that's the only system you could get to play new games on.
well, it's like you know, it's like you bought a PS4 because you knew the new Uncharted
Yeah.
was only going to be
You
on
knew
the
you
PS4.
weren't going to get a new Uncharted or a new Assassin's Creed on a PS3.
Right.
Like,
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know. I see a lot of each side. It's kind of like, well, you know, on one hand, 4 years isn't that long for a console cycle, but then again, it's not that far off from average. It's kind of like, you know, I get why they're trying to make this ecosystem, but I don't get why you wouldn't want to use the full potential of your newest hardware. So I see each side of a lot of these issues, and that's why I'm kind of like, I don't really know what to think about it, to be honest with you. And I mean, I guess you could kind of say the same for Sony in the sense that, you know, about the PS4 Pro. I mean, it's like twice as powerful, you know, as the standard model. You know, maybe this is just the Sony fan in me speaking. I mean, I personally saw that as more of kind of like a logical, almost kind of like a stopgap between like what they have now and like, you know, whatever we're gonna get with the PS5, because it's like slightly stronger, but it's not like this crazy huge upgrade. And it's kind of like, hey, like if you really care about 4K and horsepower right now, you can buy this. If you don't, wait for the PS5. But
I know we were talking last time, you know, with the PS4 Pro, it was like an incentive for the VR too, like
yes, it runs the VR way better.
Yeah.
Way better. So
at least it is kind of the same. It's in the same realm there. It's another upgrade, but it's like, okay, you can buy the PS4 Pro so it can run VR and things like that better. I guess the Xbox One X doesn't really have that. It's just gonna run the games differently. So I don't know. It's I hate, you know, talking shit on one but not the other, but it's, I don't know. It's not that big of a difference. Yeah,
Like,
it's like the Pro and the S. I like the S too. I think like the S.
yeah, they both made more sense.
Yeah, they made upgrades. Like the S can play the 4K Blu-rays,
Right.
which the Pro should be able to, and it can't.
Yeah,
so that sucks.
that doesn't make sense.
But Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's more of that stopgap kind of small upgrade instead of a giant leap that could
Yeah.
potentially split things.
Yeah, it's like they each make a lot of sense to me. But then 1 year later, Microsoft's like, new console that's like crazy. And I'm kind of like, but you just, it's like you just released the S, which I think is still technically slightly stronger than the Pro still.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you? It's like, but then it's like, oh well, it's not a new generation. And I'm like, is it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't know. Like,
looking at it from like a business perspective, I could understand what Sony and Microsoft are doing because as time goes on, the parts just get cheaper and cheaper. So it's probably costing them the same amount to put parts into an Xbox that are 4 times faster. It's probably costing them the same amount to do that now as it did to get those parts 4 years ago that they originally put in.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, like we're spending the same amount of money and we can give you a console that's 4 times faster and we can market it to you to make you want to buy it.
Yeah.
So I could see them doing that from a business perspective, but it just goes back to if you're not making games that are exclusive to the Xbox One X, like what is really the point? And I can see also like the argument that the Xbox uses, it has a lot of background processes, like it has like your cable and like all that stuff running into it. So it could use that extra processing power, I guess. Why don't they give you picture in picture so you can watch TV while you play games? That would be awesome.
Yeah. To me personally, as usual, I just feel like Microsoft is missing the point. And it's like, okay, it's great that you have this crazy, strong console, but they're just going to make more Halo and more Gears and Forza over and over again.
I think the thing that Microsoft hasn't learned that Sony has kind of embraced a little bit is you get a lot of your best titles from studios that aren't under your direct control. I mean, look at Rockstar. They pump out hit after hit.
Sure. Well, and the ones that you do own, you have to let them take risks.
Yeah.
I mean, let them make something like The Last of Us. Yeah. Let them make a new IP like Horizon. Microsoft seems very unwilling to just take risks on new IP. They'd rather just like make a new Halo because they know that it will sell. Yeah. And I mean, again, Phil Spencer, when he took over 4 years ago, was we're going to make new studios, we're going to make new IP. Didn't happen. And, it's like he's saying the same thing now. And I'm like, dude, like,
what?
If they do it, then great. But they just haven't done it.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of their problem is instead of just buying studios and doing what they have been doing, they should nurture like outside studios, like let them do their thing, like maybe give them money or like direction or resources. But I think going out and buying studios and telling them what to do is not smart, and that's just that's their MO.
Well, they were trying to they had a couple exclusives from the third-party developers like Sunset Overdrive.
Well, yeah.
And then I was actually really interested in the one that got canceled by Platinum Games. It was
Scalebound.
Scalebound, that's it. Yeah, that got canceled.
Well, dude, the new studio that makes Gears of War, right? When they acquired that studio, they were in the middle of making a new IP.
Oh, okay.
And Microsoft was like, "Nah, you're gonna can that. You're gonna make more Gears." I'm like. Like, let your studios do something different. I mean, they are a little bit, I guess, with like Rare is making that Sea of Thieves game or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, Rare is obviously a far cry from what they were. But I don't know.
That new Banjo-Kazooie game is what I want.
No, you mentioned Insomniac, which I was going to talk about Insomniac because they're obviously mostly associated with PlayStation, which was why when Sunset Overdrive was only for Xbox, I was really salty about that. I won't lie to you. I was like, what the hell? that game looked like it was great. I played a little bit of it, but not extensively, and it was good from what I played. But it just flopped so bad. It was kind of like, you know what's funny is they recently there was a statement issued by Insomniac claiming that they were for making a sequel to Sunset Overdrive, but that they just needed a publisher.
Oh.
And the rumors were kind of indicating that Microsoft wasn't interested because it didn't sell well enough.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, if I'm Microsoft and I'm about to release this new console, like, hell yeah, you want that sequel only on your console. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But they probably won't do it. I hope somebody does, because I would like to play that game sequel. But I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I think that's a big area where Sony has the edge, because they've just been in the industry for so much longer than Microsoft has been, and that was around the time when they were acquiring all the studios, and it's like now there's not a whole lot out there for like Microsoft to try to get without it being really expensive. Like,
I mean, they have the money to throw around. Like,
they do.
Didn't they spend like billions of dollars to buy Minecraft or something?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think it was like $2 billion.
Yeah, that's
something
nuts.
like that. But yeah, and plus now, I mean, you know, nowadays when it comes to studios that are not already owned, like most of them want to remain independent anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I mean, they've always kind of been between a rock and a hard place in that regard, and I think that's why they tend to make a lot of deals with third parties, because they're like, well, I mean, hell, when they locked up the Rise of the Tomb Raider for a year or whatever, they pretty much straight up said, well, we don't really have anything like Uncharted, so we're just gonna, we're gonna buy this for a year, and and the camera just turned off.
And we're back. The battery died on the camera, and we had to stop.
That's 2 weeks in a row of technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm. So
producers.
We stopped and then we played Just Cause 3 for like half an hour.
Yeah,
now we're back.
And it was fun. Like
It was fun. Go play that game.
So we got extremely derailed, and we're just gonna skip to our last segment. We're gonna read the back of an old game case, and give you a little bit of insight on what people thought about
stuff from the 90s.
in 1996.
Oh, mine's from 1996 too.
Oh, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. All right. First up, we have TNN Motorsports, which, if those of you that remember TNN, like the TV channel, the Nashville Network, they were like a channel that like all their programming was like Southern based. Like they had like country music and like monster trucks and a whole bunch of stuff. It was a pretty great channel. I remember it. But this is hardcore 4x4. You'll need tough studs and big bolts. Get bent over 6 radical terrains, white knuckle driving, extreme weather conditions. Rampage your rig with actual 4-wheel independent suspension and rear vehicle motion. Gut wrenching multiple views with hard rocking adrenaline pumping music. Max out your truck, crunch the fenders, and kiss your competition, but don't drive it into the ground. That's what it says.
Oh boy.
This is K to A, kids to adults.
Oh.
Remember we were talking about that?
Oh yeah.
Not E for everyone.
Something else we got to do some research
K to
on.
A.
And here we go, right inside. So you still want more? Game hints, tips, and more.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Once we figure that out, that's definitely going to be a big part of an episode. Tips and hint. I can't speak. Tip and hint lines.
Yeah. But
Tips.
Yeah. Tips and hints.
Typicus.
ASC Games. Never heard of that studio before.
What is it?
ASC Games.
I
don't know. All right, what you got? Oh my god. All right, when you're done reading that, we're going to have to talk about the advertisement on the inside of that one.
I got Dragonheart, Fire and Steel, which is the game tie-in to the movie Dragonheart. And it says Dragonheart, the Dark Ages just got darker.
Ooh.
So, 7 evil dragons rule the world. Dragonheart, Fire, and Steel. 7 fire-breathing, razor-clawed, night-devouring monsters. 7 beasts too savage for the movie. If you can, it actually says this is too. They were too savage for the movie.
Is it in parentheses?
No.
Uh,
If you can cut your way through hordes of medieval knights hell-bent on your destruction, if you can master the moves, if you can take the heat, then it's time to face your fiery nightmare. In
Wait, how's nightmare spelled? Is it N or
it's
K?
it's N.
Okay.
In first or third person perspectives, in the wilderness or in the secret arena. It's not a very good secret. It's not the case. Get ready for maximum evil, medieval style. And it has little screenshots from the game, and underneath there's some quotes like, fly on a dragon's scaly back, live by the sword, die by the sword. Friend or foe, only the fearless know. 48 medieval maniacs in authentic armor. I'm sure it's not authentic armor. Summon the fiery power of Draco. That's the dragon, played by Sean Connery in the movie.
Is it played by Sean Connery in the video game?
I don't know, but if it was, it would say on the back.
Yeah,
so it's
Fun fact, I was named after Sean
not. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what my parents told me.
You should play this game.
Yeah.
The
I mean, I'm in it.
Well, yeah, I guess you don't have to then. But on the inside,
Darn.
the advertisement on the inside is for Space Jam.
Yeah.
That's
The
golden.
biggest hit of 1996, 97.
I don't know.
Think they had to pay Michael Jordan for that?
Yeah. I mean, probably.
It says look for Warner Brothers Space Jam. That's just a random. I guess since it's a movie game, they were like, "Oh, you must like movies."
Oh, I bet it was the same Warner Brothers.
Oh wait, no, this is for the game, the Space Jam game.
Ooh, there's a Space Jam
Because
game.
in the middle, you're not gonna be able to see it on the camera probably, but it says look for these acclaimed games, and it has a bunch of games spiraled around the center,
Yeah.
Like the universe.
and it's like it has all these. It has Starfighter, Dragonheart, The Crow, City of Angels,
Oh my
which
god.
was a terrible game. Iron Man, NBA Jam.
Wait, there was an
Extreme.
Iron Man game back
It's
then?
Iron Man. I don't even know what the title of this is.
Is-
It says Iron Man, XO, Man of War, and Heavy Metal.
Huh.
NBA Jam Extreme, X-Men, Children of the Atom, WWF In Your House, Iron and Blood, Warrior of Ravenloft. What is that? I think it's a Dungeons and Dragons game. NFL Quarterback Club, 97.
Mm.
Magic the Gathering, Battle Mage, Alien Trilogy, and Space Jam.
So wait. Was there ever a Space Jam video game?
Yeah, apparently by Acclaim.
Let me look into that.
I think there was a Space Jam arcade game. I remember it being in the arcade.
It's your chance. Do
Your
your
dance.
dance.
Well, I'll probably drop everything else I'm playing and start on this.
Well, we'll ask you about that next week. So
Okay.
make sure you actually play it.
Yeah.
In-
It'd be a big phony.
You can't just lie to all these people.
I did last time.
Way to go. Way to let down the viewers.
It-
Unbelievable.
Sorry, guys. I failed.
It's fine.
Yeah, I guess it's okay.
Well, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Thumbs up, comment. Thumbs down, comment. Tell us what you think. And we will talk to you next time.
Goodbye.